you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And, beating yourself up about it or second guessing yourself is literally the definition of pointless because you can't go back.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Do I say hello too?
Yes.
Hello, friends.
And welcome to Pickles and Vodka, the mental health podcast where we depress you every few months.
Sounds about right.
I'm Christina.
I'm Lauren.
And I am Vikki, and I'm a guest today.
Returning guest.
You're more than a guest, honestly. And we're here to talk about some fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm.
Namely, pet death.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the disclaimer.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about dead pets today.
Yep.
And the reason why is because, as we've discussed, Lauren's dog Pico died almost a year ago today.
Mm-hmm.
And his gotcha day anniversary actually, is it tomorrow?
Today.
Today!
Yep.
So we're recording on what would have been his 10th gotcha day.
Yep.
So Lauren, where are you at?
So about a week ago I thought of, because I'd known this was coming and just kind of dreading both of the days, this day and then also next week will be the first anniversary of his passing. And I thought, I wonder if I could get some people to come out. There's a cafe here that not only allows dogs, pretty much centers on the fact that they want dogs there. So I asked a bunch of people, and it was really nice that a lot of people came out to do that, because I think we both talked about how we kind of feel awkward in a lot of situations, and I know I often feel like, yeah, I don't suggest much for people to do because I feel like they all just decide they have better things to do. And I mean, we've talked about before how I famously invited people out for my birthday and no one came.
Yeah, and then I forgot about it on air.
Good times.
Oh yeah, good times.
For the record, Vikki lives an hour away, so she is not one that did not attend my birthday.
Yeah, and all that to say, Vikki, you should have been there.
Because I don't want to make it sound like, yeah, you abandoned me too, bitch.
This is us just banding up on Vikki 3 years later. Sorry.
No, but it was, there was actually a good handful of people that responded and came out, so I just thought that was really nice. That makes you feel good that it's oh, everyone recognizes, Pico was really important to me, and this is tough. So yeah, it was a pretty nice afternoon, really, and we got to take Taco there for the first time, and it is a place that welcomes people bringing their dogs. So when we first came, there were a ton of dogs, more than I'd ever seen there.
Zoomies?
Yes.
Okay, you've talked about it before.
Mm-hmm.
Pico was a star there.
Yes, and it seems so was Taco. Once we let him off leash to run around, then he wasn't too crazy. He just was having fun, sniffing butts and doing what dogs do. Living the dream. Exactly.
Aww.
So that was ended up being nice, but of course there is still hanging over me. Yeah, next weekend is and then I just get to remember all the terrible stuff that happened last year at this time.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it at length. Vikki, I forgot to ask you how you're feeling today in this moment.
I'm doing good. We didn't get a lot of sleep last night. We stayed up really late, and so I'm extra tired today, but I'm doing good.
Nice. I feel the same. I got home at 10:30 last night. I could have had a good night's sleep, but I decided to stay up until 1 a.m. instead. Vikki, I'm assuming that you also have experiences with what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, we had a dog and 2 cats for 3 years, and we are now down to just the 1 cat. So the house feels very empty, and it's been almost a year since we had to put our dog Poochie down, and it's been pretty tough.
Yeah, because, something of the course of 8 or 9 months, you went from 3 animals to 1. That's pretty...
Yeah, it's been pretty tough.
Yeah.
Lauren said that you had that experience, and the reason we were talking about it was because we lost our latest cat unexpectedly last week, which is one reason we didn't record. I also was out of town and I just got back last night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wrote about it, so I won't tell the whole story, but basically she had problems breathing in the middle of the night and we took her to the emergency vet, and it turns out she had like fluid in her lungs and we had to put her down because there was not really a chance of fixing it, and it would have been thousands of dollars to just try.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really sad because she was an accident cat and we only had her 6 months.
She was a baby.
She was a baby and she left a really huge impression on us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were planning on doing something to commemorate Pico anyway, and then this happened, and then Lauren said that Vikki would probably be interested in talking about this also, and so we decided to just do a big old episode on pet death, where we just like let out our grief.
Yeah. Commiserate.
Commiserate. So yeah, I don't know where to go from here.
I know. I feel like I thought of like some things that we can talk about related to this topic, but of course they all flew out of my head.
I think one of the things I've been mulling over is knowing what an effect it has when you lose a pet. Whether you've had them a long time or a short period of time, but they just like imprinted on you. And our human tendency to like self-preservation, like you're not going to put yourself out there to get hurt again. Mm-hmm. Do you at all feel like you would be hesitant to open your heart to another pet? Like as big as you've opened your heart in the past?
No. I mean, I think if anything, it reminded me like how beautiful that relationship can be and how like sometimes they just appear in your life for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And just like keeping yourself open to that while also grieving what you lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really struggled with it a lot, but that's just me.
I know for me, like, I knew immediately once I got used to having a dog, then, like, I knew immediately after Pico, like, I am going to get another dog. Obviously not immediately. And I do sometimes, especially a lot right after I got him. And looking back, I think, like, I maybe rushed into it because I just was so lonely at the time. I was like, I maybe did it too soon.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're kind of getting to the point now where it's just like, yeah, you know, Taco, you're your own person and I'm glad you're here and you're my dog. But it was like, it was really hard in the beginning not to compare him a lot. And I felt like that's kind of unfair to a new animal. So I felt a little bad, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I also think for people who have had a past of maybe being distrustful of other people and having been let down by humans time and time again, like when you've had that experience in the past, I feel like that makes you the kind of person who extra bonds to an animal. Because animals are just so pure, so loyal, so loving. I mean, you have the ones that have their own quirks and you love them in spite of the quirks.
Yeah.
But just, they're so amazing. And the capacity they have to love you and the surprising capacity you have to love them in return, I just feel like maybe that is a stronger bond when you've been let down and hurt, etc. in your past. So just something to think about.
Yeah. Ezzy was so innocent. Like, she was just a baby, like we said. She was just, like, I know people always say too good for this world, and I fucking hate it. But sometimes I think, like, she was not from this world. She was just, like, so cuddly and attuned with humans. I've never met a cat like that. And so when she was going through this, I had this premonition that, like, she was going to die because I always expect the worst. And so I was taking her to the ER at like 5 a.m, and I was thinking, of course, this happened to her. She's the most innocent of all the cats. And like, I was angry because like she doesn't deserve it, but also that's just life.
Yeah.
I had a ton of pets as a kid that died, often one after the other. And it wasn't the same as having a cat because these were like fish and rodents and stuff, like a steady succession of them. But I don't know. I thought because of that experience, I would have been more desensitized to this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm surprised by how much it affected me that week, and it's still affecting me. And I'm curious to see how you guys have dealt with that, like, over longer periods of time. Like, I don't know.
I mean, there's still, again, like almost a year later, just a lot of unpredictable and surprising feelings that I will have. I love that you said she's too good for this world, because that's kind of how I feel about Pico too. He was just, he was the sweet, like, I loved things always, like, ever since I got him. Then people would meet him and be like, I don't usually like small dogs, and how great he is. And, like, you're not a dog person, but you recognized he's an angel. And I was just like, he just had that ability.
Seriously, he was perfect.
And so, I mean, this isn't, like me all the time walking around like this, but, there was just like a day that I was feeling like super like depressed and upset about it a couple weeks ago. And I just had the thought I was, like thinking of the boyfriend still having his dog. And I was just like, I'm glad he's not here, because I feel like I'd be ready to yell at him like, I wish your damn dog had killed me instead. Mm-hmm. So, it's just like sometimes, it still hits you and you get really upset. You have weird irrational thoughts like that.
Yeah.
It's also just difficult to know what to do with those feelings. I mean, I know that in therapy they tell you to learn to just sit with your feelings. Just let yourself feel them. But, like, I've always been more like, well, what do I do with this feeling? How do I work through this? And, I mean, when the grief just kind of randomly hits you, it's just hard to rationally work through it, because it's not rational. It's like deep feelings that you maybe can't even put into words. And it's just difficult to navigate through those feelings and still, go about living your life and all your responsibilities. But then there's this part of you that's like, oh my God, if I could just see that animal like one more time, and just the unfairness of it. And it can still hit you even years later.
Yeah, I know twice I can think of where I had dreams that Pico was still there. And those are always so, like, bittersweet, because it's like, I got to see you again, but then you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, like, feel their fur.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the weight of them in your arms.
Mm-hmm.
When Ezzy first died, I couldn't go in my sister's room, because that's where she would always, like, loaf on the bed.
Yeah.
And, I keep walking into rooms and expecting to see her there. But then there's hours where I don't even think of her. Like, do you guys sometimes worry that you're gonna forget them? Or do you have moments where you forget that they're dead?
I don't have moments I forget that he's dead, but I do, I have had a couple times, as more time goes on, it's just kind of like, I don't know if I remember what it felt like to cuddle you anymore. Like, I feel like I'm gonna lose it. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
How's your sister dealing with this?
She seems to be leaning heavily towards the, like, keep yourself busy so you don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, if anything, she feels even more, like, detached from it. Which is interesting, because, like, Ezzy was her cat.
But that kind of makes sense. Like, if she felt maybe closer, it's kind of like, it's really fresh for you guys.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is often a detachment first, and then it hits.
Exactly. It's like when someone in your life dies and you're like, why am I not reacting more strongly? Like when friends of mine have died in the past. It's like, I haven't cried yet. Why haven't I cried yet? And with Ezzy, I did cry, like, at the vet and stuff. But I don't know, not since then. I've honestly, like, been pushing it out of my mind all weekend. I've been, like, on this trip with my friend, and it's easy to compartmentalize.
Yeah, which I think is fine to do. I mean, people say this so much, but it's true. It's like there is no blueprint for how to deal with it or anything like that. So, there's not a certain amount of time where you have to be thinking of her and be sad about it 24/7, and then you can, like, start to get over it. It's like, if you want to push it out for a bit, and then, it's going to come back.
Yeah. It's just, it sucks.
Mm-hmm. Because I do remember that, too. It was maybe something like 2 or 3 weeks after Pico passed, and, then the boyfriend and I were out doing something, and because he was obviously heavily involved in this too, then, it's like we just went out and did something and we were having fun and that's what he said something. It's like, I almost feel like guilty because I'm having a good time. Like I should not yet. I was like, I know, but it's also okay because we both sit for like 2 straight weeks been miserable. So it is also okay that we enjoy ourselves.
What are some ways that y'all commemorate them?
Well, like right now, I am wearing the little piece of urn jewelry that Vikki actually got me. So that has, you put a tiny bit of their ashes in.
I love that.
Oh, and I never mentioned, for Christmas, I thought this was so sweet because, like, my family being far away, my mom probably spent the most time with Pico, but they knew of him, of course, because I'm going to talk about him all the time. But they didn't all necessarily see him that often, so it's like my brother, had met him a handful of times, but he realized, how important it was for me because he sent me a package for Christmas, and he sends me a note. He's like, don't open this until you call me. And it's because it was this little, like, wooden keepsake type box, and he said that, like, he sometimes likes to build things, so he'd made it, and he was like, I just saw this, like, little box and thought that I could make it, and it'd be neat, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with it, and he's like, and when it was done, then I looked and I just thought, that's the perfect box for Lauren for Pico keepsakes. So he's like, that's what it's intended for. Yeah.
That's so considerate. I think it's important to, like, hold on to those physical things.
Yeah.
Vikki, do you have something like that?
I saved quite a few things that were Poochie's, but I find myself, like, instead of those things bringing me comfort, like, I get angry. And it's like, I loved this dog so much. She was so sweet and so loving. And 3 years with her was not enough time. But just to be like, is this all I have left of her? I have her collar and her favorite toy, but God, I want her. These things are nothing. This doesn't bring her back. This doesn't help. Like, it kind of tends to make me feel angry. Like, it's wonderful that we all have, like, our phones on us 24/7 and we have thousands of pet pictures saved on our phones. But sometimes that, too, I'm like, all I have left are pictures. It's not fair.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like, sometimes when I'm, like, searching for an older picture, I'm not thinking of it, and I'm, like, scrolling back, like, trying to find, like, oh, where's this picture of blah, 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 I want to show someone, and then I get back far enough in history, and I just see, like, millions of Pico pictures, and it's like, oh,
I'm sorry, I'm, like, the worst today.
I know, I mean, we're, like I said, we're both pretty tired at this point, too. And it is, like, I don't know what to say much other than, like, it really sucks in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys found that, like, it's difficult to get the people in your lives to understand how bad a pet death affects you? Like, if people think, like, grief is kind of confined to, like, losing another human, and not quite understanding just the level of grief that comes with losing a pet.
For me, no. I've had some really amazing people who were honestly as devastated as we were. I mean, most of my friends have pets of their own, so they understand.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, like, some people in my life who maybe haven't understood, but it's not the people that I'm closest to. I feel like most of my family and good friends, even if they're not necessarily pet people or dog people, I feel like every one of them, if they knew me, they've seen and they understood how important this particular dog was to me. So it's like, if anything, they at least get that they're like, we know he was your life.
Honestly, if anything, I feel like I've been kind of playing it down to myself. Like, I've been judging myself for having it hit me so hard last week. Because it's like, oh, she was barely in your life. It's just a cat. Why are you acting this poorly? And so then my reaction was to just, like, turn off all the feelings.
But I think that's something too is, and so I do feel, yeah, like maybe like both of us experienced it, because I had wondered, like, this is the first dog that I had totally on my own. And, you know, and I could tell like he's super special, but I was just kind of like, well, maybe I would have felt that way about any dog. And, you know, and this isn't necessarily like my one end all be all heart baby. But I do feel, yeah, like some of them are, and that's what I'm kind of, you know, even learning now. It's like, yeah, I think he really was it. And I could see, you know, that like, as he was really special for you immediately. Some of them, yeah, just hit different. So even if she wasn't around as long, I think it's fair to say it was a hard one.
Well, and there's just all the complicating factors of like, you may have only had her for 6 months, but think about how much joy she brought you, you know, and you said she was very intuitive and understanding, you know, your feelings and just snuggly. So she brought you a lot of joy, and for that to just be taken away is hard to deal with. And not to mention, you know, when we have pets, we know that they can't fend for themselves. We know that they look to us for everything, you know, feeding them, whatever they needed. We are their protectors. And so when something happens that you couldn't protect them from, there's a lot of heavy feelings that go along with that, because you're like, oh my God, this cute little kitty was relying on me, and then, you know, there was literally nothing you could have done, but yet there are those heavy feelings of like, God, I was supposed to be her protector.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I had a lot of that feeling with the situation, how it happened.
Yeah.
I think some of it is just like about control and how we don't have any control over them. And like, this might be like stirring the pot a little bit. I'll be curious to see what y'all think. But sometimes I feel like one of the reasons we have pets is to have something, not necessarily to control, like to dominate, but it is something that is in our control to take care of and love and decide like how we raise them and how often. I don't know. Having a pet is a way of having control. Would you agree with that?
In some ways, because it is saying, yeah, like, I mean, kind of putting together what both of you are saying. Like, when you make the decision, you know, like, I'm bringing you into my house, and this is how it's going to be, and you're going to live with me. Yes.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't say, like, my friend with a kid, like, had a kid to be in control of another human being, but, like, as someone with a kid, she is maybe not in control, but, like, responsible for.
Yeah.
And so I think losing a pet so unexpectedly in the way that you lost Pico, for instance, it is such a huge breach of control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It makes me feel a fear.
Well, it's just a reminder of like how quickly life can just be flipped upside down. Yeah. You know, you're driving home from somewhere, not a care in the world, and you get in a wreck, you know, and suddenly you have all these injuries, whatever. Or someone you love passes away unexpectedly. There was no warning. Like, it's just a reminder that, like, your life can just get totally, you know, upturned in a second. And that's scary.
Yeah, no one wants to think about that.
No.
Yeah, and, like, like we've said, the amount of grief we can feel for these animals is so huge. That's scary, too. Like, this thing can be taken away from me unexpectedly, and I feel so much grief towards this small animal. How am I going to feel when, you know, a human close to me dies? Or, like, what if I die unexpectedly, you know?
Or even have, you know, like some major health complication. Like, you know, what if something happens and I end up paralyzed? Like, I'm not planning on that.
Yeah.
Well, another ugly underside to this is money. For me, at least, like, we could not afford to give her all the care she could have had. That's just the truth of it. And, like, whether or not it would have made a difference, there's, like, statistics we can look at. But in the end, we just didn't have the money to even try. And I feel guilty about that. And then I think about times in my life I've needed medical care and haven't been able to afford it. And then I think of people I love getting diseases and, like, life-changing illnesses and not being able to, like, fix it because they're broke.
Yeah, I think with the money thing, too, and also with the control thing, that's a particularly hard one with animals because it's kind of like you have to make the decision based on what you know, and you can't have the whole story because, like, yes, if you're looking at something like really expensive to treat them and they can't guarantee that it's even going to work and you don't know how much pain they're in, but, you know, like, you don't have, like, the animal can't tell you, like, oh no, I can deal with this. If you can, you know, swing it in any way, I want you to try.
Well, yeah, and we would have tried harder if there would have been more of a chance. But the nurse told us, like, there's not much chance.
Yeah, I feel like that's a hard one to deal with, too, when they're saying, like, yes, there's this really expensive treatment that you probably can't afford, and it's kind of like, well, if you could guarantee that gives me a few years, but if you say, like, there's like 30% chance it'll work, then...
It's fucked up. I think a lot of people can relate to that. I mean, no one has money out here.
No, we had to take our cat to the emergency vet probably 5-6 months ago and went from like a vet urgent care to her being hospitalized overnight at this vet ER place, and it all cost a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were taking her from the one facility to the other, there was somebody standing outside the vet clinic, like talking on her phone and just hysterically crying. And my husband was like, I heard her say something about the money. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be put in that position of like, maybe there is something that could save your pet, but it would put you so far in debt, you know, then you're like, what are you even supposed to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then it's so easy to go to shame from there. Like, oh, I shouldn't have gotten a pet in the first place. Like, I'm so irresponsible. And it, honestly, it gets in the way of the grieving process.
Yeah, because then, like, you have to just, like, feel guilty about, did I make the right decision instead of dealing with what happened?
Yeah, like, I don't deserve to grieve because I could have done something to stop this. Or, like, I made the final call, so I don't deserve... I don't know. I mean, obviously, this is just my internal dialogue and should be taken with a grain of salt.
I think it's one of those things that you always hear someone say, like, you did the best you could in that moment with what you had, you know, and had money been no object, had, you know, the kitty's potential outcome from treatment been different, that could have changed the outcome, but you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And, you know, beating yourself up about it or second guessing yourself is literally the definition of pointless because you can't go back.
Yeah.
So, you know, you need to just let it go. You did the best you could with what you had in the moment. And I mean, you gave that kitty 6 months of a very happy, joyful life. So that's something to hold on to.
She got a free abortion out of it. Seriously. She had better health care than most people.
I feel like my dogs would disagree. They just got their balls cut off.
I know this is probably going to be a shorter episode because we're all tired, but we still have a pickle pull out if people want to answer that. And then I have a surprise for you guys.
Oh boy.
Lauren and Vikki.
Yes.
Since we would be talking about such a serious topic, I decided to do a MadLib.
Yes!
For today. But I couldn't really find any pet-related ones that I liked, and so I decided to write my own.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Even better.
So I have a MadLibs that I wrote that we're going to do now. Unless you guys have anything else you want to say about pet death.
Nope. I think we can bring on the more lightheartedness, finally.
Yes.
Okay. So first I need the name of an animal. Vikki, we'll start with you.
Lassie.
Or sorry,
Type?
a type of animal.
Okay. Let's say dog.
Well, the next one is a name. So...
Should we go with Lassie?
No.
Lauren's like, no, it's too basic.
Roland.
Ooh. All right, Vikki, I need an adverb.
Quickly.
Lauren, I need an adjective.
Smushy.
All right, noun.
Lake.
Verb.
Swim.
Body part.
Big toe.
Verb ending in ing.
Pushing.
Action verb.
Jumping.
Color.
Chartreuse.
Ooh. I just figured out what that color was, and it turns out it's the podcast green.
I was just going to say, I think because we have all the bright green, that's why I went to that.
Noun.
Book.
Action verb, past tense.
Peed. We were just hanging out with dogs.
This is perfect. I need a verb.
Smiles.
Emotion.
Exhaustion.
Another verb, past tense.
Sang.
Action verb.
Voting. Where that came from.
Verb ending in ing.
Discussing.
Verb, past tense.
Watched.
Adjective.
Hauntingly.
I think that's an adverb.
Or haunting. We can put haunting. Give me a place.
Beijing.
A negative adjective.
Disgustingly.
Disgusting. All right. We're almost done, I promise. Sound.
Bing.
Verb ending in ing.
Vaping.
Oh, I hope our dog is vaping.
Noun.
Cassette tape.
Emotion.
Jubilation.
Jubilation is what I need. All right. Adjective.
Freakish.
Oh my god, it's perfect. Verb, past tense.
Flunked.
Animal body part.
Nope.
Are we gonna go this whole episode without talking about Taco's wiener?
Not now.
Thanks, Vikki. Someone had to do it.
But the body part, I'm going to say nose.
Okay. Emotion.
Grateful.
Verb.
Prance.
Adjective. And that's it.
Take us home.
Take us home, Vikki.
Stunning.
Love it.
Woo, that was longer than I thought. All right. This is the MadLib that we all wrote. My pet dog, Roland, has always been quickly smushy. Every time I mention lake, they swim their big toe and start pushing. The other day, during our usual jump around the neighborhood, Roland noticed a chartreuse book on the ground and peed over to smile it. To our exhaustion, it sang, which caused Roland to vote disgustingly. I fucked that up. I watched at them, but it was too haunting. I looked everywhere, even Beijing, but my luck was disgusting. Suddenly, I heard a bing. Roland. Oh no. Sorry. Roland was vaping toward me, but this time with a cassette tape. I was overcome by jubilation. Who's my freakish Roland? I said as I flunked my pet's nose. Roland looked up at me with gratefulness in their eyes. Then, to my gratefulness, why is grateful appear twice? Opened their mouth to prance at me. I shouldn't do this anymore. And that's when I realized I had the world's most stunning dog.
Aww.
Wow. It didn't make a lick of sense.
But it was perfect.
I liked vaping towards me.
Me too. That's my favorite.
I looked everywhere, even Beijing.
Yeah, my sister and I were trying to come up with a plot. And my plot involved the dog finding something, and her plot involved the dog running away, and they got mixed up, and I don't think either of them got resolved, but whatever. And that's Pickles and Vodka for the day. Thank you, Vikki, for coming on again.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Taco, for staying quiet. We really tired him out.
Yes.
I knew something was missing.
Right?
Wow.
He's just been chilling. Oh, now I heard his name.
Next week we might do a movie review. I have a few ideas now.
Yeah.
So, until then.
Bye.
Bye. If you like what you heard, tell a friend about the podcast. You can send them to picklesandvodka.substack.com, where they can listen to our entire catalog and find our newest merch. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/picklesandvodka. My personal Instagram is @XtinaJumper. And Lauren's is at Lauren 3_AFH. We'll see you next week. Maybe someone will say something funny.